we go. I got my ratchet bolts. I'm going to put those in. They're not long. They're about 2 inches. They're just to help hold what I need in place. Hopefully I don't drop this on the camera. Unfortunately, I don't have an attachment for my drill to put this in. I mean, it would be so much easier and advantageous, but that's why I pre-drilled anyway. So you gotta put pressure at the same time. Now we got it. Yeah. She's going to give it some extra pressure. Plus the plates will be sitting on that. This is honestly just a deterrent for movement. This pole will be boxed in and disappear with the concrete countertop. This here, how far are we? This is something else. Okay, I thought this would be a lot easier, but this is not easy at all. Holy crap, we got a long way to go. If I would have had some washers, I would have loved to put washers, but these are way big enough to hold these in place. Almost there, almost there. Oh yeah, that's it right there. All right, so it was taking me long to do the ratchet. I just gave up. I said, you know what, it would take spend 5 minutes. Look at this. I had the attachment the whole time, was sitting in my little bit box. And yeah, it was underneath this right here. So I was kind of lucky. Oh my God, wow. Oh, holy fuck. Oh, I might have to come back with the ratchet anyways, just to tighten up in the last few, but holy crap, does this make a difference trying to put this in. Holy shit. Yeah, look at that. You gotta watch out though, because it does jerk once you hit that metal up there. Oh wow, yeah, that one went all the way. Maybe I don't need the ratchet. Oh, that one's really tight. Yeah, that one's really jerking me around. Jerkity, jerk, jerk, jerk. Oh, that was such a better idea. You know what? That's not going anywhere. Homage to the lords of power. Power. I took the pin out because I got to raise that beam 1.5 inches up from the main support beam, which is below, and put a bracer underneath it. But here I am, the dumbass. I also got to cut this pin just about 1 inch off, so when I build the box, it doesn't, you know, doohickey me. Anyway, so I bolted that in. It holds, but I just put a temporary pin to crank it back up. Later, I got to go downstairs, measure a piece of wood, have it prepped there, and slide that underneath with my hand already there. I gotta make sure I do this in one shot because it'll be a nightmare. I won't have much arm strength from below to lift that, and even if I do it from above, I won't have much arm strength. So I have to prep everything. So I was gonna cut that pin, but there's no point in cutting that pin. I'm just gonna flip it around and tighten this wheel so it comes towards this stego, because this side of the box is not exactly centered. So what I'll do is it'll give me more play on this side, and I'll just make it whatever, the box will hit that metal. Anyways, we'll have a look at when it's all done, and that's in place. Power. Whoa. Oops, safety glasses. I got them back on. You know, I don't plan this like this, but actually I passed the edge of my thing. So this piece, which I don't think you can see, but will go basically between a rafter. I just want to make sure it fits. It don't look like it's gonna fit though. You can see that there's the beam, which is here coming up structural, which has a corner right where I'm standing. Here, you can't see it, but here there's a triple 2x6s here. Oh, sorry, 4 2x6s, just like behind here. So those are what's holding up the structural, which is here we got about 5 beams. They're all connected together, which make the span of the house. I got 3 of those. So I got one there, I got one there, and I got one over there. The one in the middle is plywooded, and it's more recent. These ones on the end, I doubled up. All right, so I've cut the piece. You can see I left a little space there. What I got to do now is go upstairs, lift the beam and slide that with my hand through there This is not gonna be fun. Solution, pipe strapping. Basically strapping we use for pipes. All right, so I didn't use the plumbing strapping. What I did do was use the pin to hold the damn thing up. It's hanging on the ceiling, so I gotta do this quick. I gotta run downstairs, go up the ladder, and slide that piece of wood in without fucking having that thing drop on my hand. There you go. Trying to rush. All right, so very hard to see, but I have it now placed, and you can see actually the beam is actually floating there. So now we're gonna bolt this in. I'm gonna screw these in on an angle to pull it down. And with that lowered on there, then we're gonna try and ratchet a bolt into the top of that. So you know how sometimes you think you're doing the right thing, trying to get the 2 bolts in. I got one side in by ratchet. The other side I couldn't do with the ratchet because I have no force. Hooked up this shit, which reached down there, but look what happened. Look at that. Fucking bolt broke right off. Occam's law. The simplest solution is always the easiest one. And yeah, it was the simplest solution was to use my drill and find some extensions, which did work, but guess what? It fucked me in the end. Anyways, the bolt is in there. There's nothing else I can do. I can't put another one. I don't got a way to tap that shit. So I'll try and put a couple of shitty screws in and see if they go on an angle. At least the beam now is straight and secured. Secured all the way up there with bolts. Yeah, my handle's nice and tight. I got the pin all the way through, and as you can see, I got it kind of like lined up with this. I could tap it in more, but you know what? It's not a big deal. This is pretty much good like that. All right, so I'm setting up the sink on my counter. I have some adjustments to do, plus I have to extend the counter an extra 7 or 8 inches because I've come up with a little bit of an idea, and you know what? I might as well do these changes while I'm at it. I have, you see, I have my pipe there already. The sink, which will go, so it'll go something like that. How straight it's gonna be? Well, it's gonna be as straight as I can do. So basically by coming out 7 or 8 inches from here and forming it down, I'll be able to have little nooks with a couple little doors. I guess not spice racks, but little storage shit, you know, like whatever you need. Like you got some cans, you want to throw some cans in there, you can store your cans in there, you know. I'm not cutting anything until I move the framing that I have underneath, because when I built this counter, I just roughly built the counter. So there I go. I got my thing there. The problem is that when I measured it, I kind of just centered everything. I did the shit that we normally do, and I just eyeballed it. Up here, you do what you can do with what you got. All right, so let me jump back into this and do some more measurements and dismantling from this side over here. But the first thing we're gonna do is finish getting this and having the rough placement of that sink in there, because that sink is also going to determine a lot of shit. You can see I'm ready to cut. I've made a simple little pilot hole. Hopefully it fits in there. Truth is, I've never really used a jigsaw, so I decided to partake in a couple of sips before doing this. Not a good idea, not recommended, but I'm going to do it because I need to calm my nerves, because this is the first time I'm going to install a sink, cut a sink, do anything with the sink. Obviously, I'll learn from the mistakes I make. This one, though, will be cast in place because I can't carry this one on my own. It's going to be way too big. Plus, I have a form that I'm going to have to build around it. And I have to build a form around this as well. Anyways, cheers. There we go. All right, here we go. You know what would help? If I plug the damn fucking thing in. See what happens when you partake? I forgot to plug it in. I haven't made myself a nice little plug outlet here so that I can actually move around without any issues. But this plug is old. Look, the jigsaw's got to be older than I am. There's no polarizing unit on it. Here we go. Yep. Kind of a little bit cut into the beam there. I'm going to try and just turn it off a bit just and move out. Everything is fucking shaking though, including me. Okay, so I cut on the edge of the beam, so I'm off about 1/8. So when I go on the other side, I'll just transpose a little bit to the 1/8 over there to make it up. Hallelujah! Now we'll see if I did this right. All right, so because I'm a man and I don't read instructions, I kind of did a little faux pas. But I can still correct it. It's not a big deal. I'll show you. All right, this is what happens when you put your sink template down and forget. You see that there? I got basically 2 inches there and 4 inches here. So what happens? I got to cut an inch off on this side more to slide the sink down. Essentially, I want 1 inch more towards me so I can balance the two sides, because then there's going to be, basically it'll be 1.5 inches plus whatever's here, so it's about 3. So it'll give me 4.5 inch with the counter stick out, and on the other side will be the same thing. I got the 1.5 inches plus the 3. Yeah, it'll be better. It'll also make these holes here move down a bit, which is all right. It's not the end of the world. All right, so there you have it. The sink is in place. That's where it's going to go. As you can see, don't fall. As you can see, I cut extra space there. I know that's dumb, but if I have to, like I said, I can just put a brace from here all the way, like a 1x3 right there going all the way. It'll give me more support on the edge after I put the taps in. Anyways, here we go. Time to extend it. Yeah, baby. Let's extend the counter. But we will partake first. So I'm going to put one screw in first. Kind of like on an angle, because wood shatters. If you go on an angle, wood will have a tendency not to shatter as much. Doesn't mean it always works, but it does help. So I will flush this one up here. Get at least one of these in. This is not the way I should have did it, but due to this and the change in plans, it's not that bad, not that bad. All right, now this will go like this, right there. And what I'm thinking I'm doing is I might not even, I keep changing my plans, but I might not even make I might just put an angle underneath of wood and close it off with the cabinet spacing. And I think that'll actually do really nicely. That's not gonna be the straightest cut, but it's decent. All right, so there you have it. It's now done. The counter is now set to the right size. Like I said, down there in the bottom, these two areas, I'm not sure what I'm gonna do. For now, until I can actually put the actual counter in, I'm gonna just put some supports on those two ends to make sure that this doesn't drop down. I'm not building, because eventually, if I do put anything there, it'll be a small cabinet with a box. So it'll slide right in and I'll have like little can areas, like I said. As for here, it becomes a box all the way down that'll sit on the counter. Okay, so I basically cut these kind of weird angled cuts, and hopefully if I did my cuts right, they should slide right in like that. There you go, and that's gonna support. Both sides should work. Hopefully I did it right, like I said. It's the first time I'm really doing angle cuts like this, but I'm doing them just to make sure that it actually holds well when I pour this concrete, because it's gonna be a lot of weight. Those will probably remain there forever. Well, here it is. So what have we accomplished? We fixed the counter. We got the sink in place. We got the post in place, and now temporarily angled and supported it so it'll take the weight, which is not big, but it'll take the weight anyways. We're gonna get the sink installed. It's a lot of work. Would I do it again? Probably not. The truth is that while I love DIYing, this has been the burden of my life. I only continue to do it because when I'm gone, when I kick that bucket, when I go 6 feet under, my children hopefully can make some money off of this. They can keep it to love me, or they can just get rid of it. I don't really care. I just want to leave them something. All right, so there we have it. Another weekend comes to an end. Another day of reckoning. Another day of sore fingers. Another day of partaking in the fun. Anyways, yeah, I'm Creator B. This has been another weekend with Kreative Builds. I hope you enjoyed.